Yeah, as Flux is pointing out there in the chat, I think it was just a little bit of that tunnel vision from Chase, kind of while it, in the end it was a win to him, it kind of kept him down, and like we saw that he went straight up to the hive tech and was in a really nice spot, but it sort of let him down a couple of times because he sacrificed so many units, and he was just sort of tunnel vision. I've got to kill those Marines, I've got to kill the tanks, I've got to kill all these things, and then he suddenly realizes, oh my god, I'm at the other guy's base, and I'm not, I'm gonna die. And all the Ultras went down, all the some of the Infestors went down, and that's where we got to that low point for Chase, where he kind of, he was in this situation where I was like, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this, but really nicely done by Redemption. I was really impressed with the with how he did, considering the position that he was in. So good stuff there. As we said, 1-1. I'm going to turn the fan on, but I'm going to face it away. If you can, like, hear the fan and it's sort of impeding on me, please let me know, and I'll just have to turn it off and deal with it. So just give me a sec. Okay. Game number 3 here in the mGG versus FaDe clan war. It is a best of 9. We're currently sitting at a score of 1-1, and of course we will dive into game number 3 right about now. So, who do we think's going to win, guys? We've got we currently got a situation of a Zerg versus Zerg. Of course, we are on C, so these kinds of things happen quite a lot. Starting at the top right-hand side, playing as a red Zerg for Team FaDe, it is Jagger Zerg. Is this meant to be like? Is he a Mick Jagger fan? Is that the situation? Because that's, that's pretty cool. The lips. Anyway, down the bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player playing for mGG did a great job in the previous game. It is Chase. He has moves like Jagger. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, so Zerg vs Zerg. I've had the pleasure of casting the Barcraft New Zealand finals the other week, or the other weekend, a couple of weekends ago. I can't actually remember. It's been a little bit crazy lately for me trying to remember things. Lots of Zerg versus Zerg. We saw Patreus up against Jazzbaz. It was a really interesting fight. I did learn a little bit about Zerg versus Zerg, so hopefully I'll be able to call things a little bit better in this particular game. Yeah, so, see Zerg versus Zerg, especially at the sort of the Masters and Grandmasters level. I kind of feel like, we get a lot more of the longer sort of games and the very technical kind of games come out of quite a lot of the players here, just because all of you guys at that sort of Masters and Grandmasters level play each other so much that you're kind of used to what each other are going to do. You get into that situation of a, I know that he knows that I know that he knows kind of situation where you can try and counter what each other are going to do. Yeah, it's really interesting to see, especially compared to some sort of foreign ZVZ sometimes. But as we can see, both players going for the hatch first. It looks like Chase is going to be grabbing his extractor. He will obviously have his speed a tiny bit earlier than Jagger Zerg, and looks like the spawning pool just now going down for Jagger Zerg as well. So he actually went up to the 16 drones there, just continued on with the worker production. But here we go. As we can see, gas going to come along, and Zerg versus Zerg for the initial part, a tiny bit like PvP until you get to the post-cybernetic age. If we put it in Age of Empires terms, is normally kind of a similar sort of situation, and it's kind of, well, I don't know what's happening for the moment. But as we can see, the good thing about it is that it is nothing like Brood War Zerg vs Zerg, where it was effectively this massive sort of paper, scissors, rock situation. And the other hilarious part of Brood War Zerg vs Zerg was that Overlords just would sit in your base and would see exactly what you were doing. You could see every single thing that was going on. So that was an interesting part of Brood War ZVZ. But of course, the advent of Queens coming out to deal with that kind of thing is no longer means that that's no longer an issue. You no longer have to try and be the trickiest man in the world to play Zerg versus Zerg, because your opponent's not going to know exactly what you're doing. But as we said, you still get a lot of players who know what their opponent is up to and can see what they're doing. Yeah, finally we got some units coming out. A couple of lings on the way for Jagazerg. He's going to have a quick look around and see if he can find out what's going on. For Chase, he's of course started his gas a little bit, his speed a little bit earlier, I should say. Just as we mentioned, his gas was slightly earlier. He's pulled down a couple of those. Pulled out a couple of the drones to make sure he is getting up a little bit of extra minerals to make sure he can get a few more units out and a couple more drones, of course. Jagazerg has seen what's going on. He's going to have a quick look, going to try and stay away from that queen. Looks like he will... Ooh, no, he's going to actually turn around. He actually has no idea how close he was to the spawning pool, but he hasn't seen it, but you can kind of assume what's going on. Given you can see what your opponent's up to. But Chase has 10 lings on the way, 16, 18 lings are on the way. Has he not... Oh my, he's going for the baneling nest, and I think he has not actually realized that this ling is not outside of his base just yet, so Jagazerg may be able to find a timing where he can actually just have a quick peek of what's going on, and in fact I think that would be now, because there are so many lings now popping out for Chase. He's going to have a lot of these lings out. Is this, I'm guessing this is that Targa build you guys love to see in ZVZ, but here we go. It looks like Jagazerg prepared, baneling nest at the front, Evo chambers there as well, but it looks like the Queen will go down. No transfuses available for her. The lings now get inside. Chase going to have a quick look around. Maybe going to poke along at those drones. We'll be able to get a couple of them here. They've bunched up a bit, but are still going to go down. And lings now starting to pop out. No banes have been started from either player. There you go. Chase getting started on a couple of his own banes. He has gotten lings inside the bane, getting a little bit of damage done here. There are little ling knife fights all over the map, and it looks like Chase is going to have the better situation with his 3 banes about to finish up. He's going to be able to roll them into the mineral line here. Nice little splits from Jagazerg. Has been able to get his drones out in separate positions. Very nicely done. Of course, it takes two banes to actually kill a drone there, so not too badly done. And the end sort of situation after all of that is that the worker kill tally is sitting at 10 for Chase, so he's done a nice job of getting some kills there, and Jagazerg has done you know, reasonably on the defense, but we'll have to see what he gets up to here. The worker count at the moment currently sitting at 40 to 21, so Chase is in a fantastic position right now. Queen's on the top of the ramp, just protecting so that there's no issues of lings trying to get inside the main base, and as we can see, the lings of Jagazerg just actually getting shredded up here. I'm not sure why he stuck around that long, but looks like a couple of banes now rolling in for Jagazerg. He's going to get, may get inside the main base, but nope, none of those get inside, and the Queen of Chase does go down, so we will have a situation of one Queen down there for Chase, and of course a lot of lings that went with it. The worker count still sitting at 21 at the moment for Jagazerg. He's not really gone too hard on resupplying that worker count. He's got 4 on the way that are just about to pop out now, but he has really just decided, I need to get some damage done, and of course he certainly does, given that his opponent is on such a better economy right now. And as you can see, Chase is just going to go straight up to the Spire Tech. He has that gas advantage because he has 4 of those in operation at the moment. His opponent only has 1 extractor running right now, so Jagazerg in a little bit of a troublesome spot right now. We'll see if he's going to try something that I saw Jazzbaz do, which was to just continually flood your opponent and then just get prepared for the muta switch with some spore crawlers anyway. But here we go. That one bane that was sitting, the one ling that was inside has finally been killed off there, but now lings inside the main base of Chase. We'll see if he's able to put on a better defense than Jagazerg was. The drones now escaping for the moment. They actually get away scot-free there. I think only 1 drone went down, but the Spire is the big target here for Jagazerg. He's going to get that, forces a cancel, and now Jagazerg is going to have to be very careful with how he goes from here, but he will need to try and find something of value to take down. So he's going to try and protect his lings there, keeping them out of danger. 1 bane for a ton of lings there, and it looks like Chase is going to get inside the main. He's going to try and claim that that mineral line back, but it looks like, oh no, oh, Chase actually losing quite a few of those lings there to 1 of the banes, and this actually is going to leave the main free for Chase to send some of his drones back, and he's going to do just that right now. But as we can see, the worker count currently sitting at 48 to 33, so this has been a very exciting ZVZ game because this has just been non-stop action between these 2 players. We've had droning, then we've had lings, and then banes, and all sorts of things going on. Looks like Chase is going to try and get in yet again for another attack here, but I don't think he's going to get too much done. Banes and even a Spine just about to finish up at the front door of Jagazerg there. No mutas on the way, of course, because that Spy did get cancelled, so Chase is sort of reset for the moment. He did have to to get the Spire restarted. He's still got quite a reasonable bank of gas. He's got around about 800 banked up right now. He's still continuing to have these Ling fights all over the map. Zerg quite supply blocked right now. I'm not sure where he lost one of his overlords there, but he did lose quite a lot, and it looks like the Muta's going to get started now for Chase. 5 of them on the way. He's actually supply blocked, which is why he didn't get around about 9 of them, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. But Zerg is going to have the impending doom of those Mutalisks on the way very soon. Infestation Pit has now finally been started. He's finally got the gas to get that going, and we'll see if he's able to get some units out in time to defend, although I don't think that is going to happen. But at a minimum, perhaps I should say, is that Chase is going to deny this third base. But here we go. Ling's at the third. Not going to get too much damage done here for Chase. He's going to have to pull them back for the time being, waiting for those Banes to finish up. He's going to try and establish his own third base while this is going on, of course. Very common to see a couple of Banes trying to protect the third base, because it's a very common sort of situation here. Beautiful explosion there for Chase, and fantastic stuff. He was able to clean up all of the Lings and is now forced to cancel on the third base. This puts him in an absolutely wonderful position now. He's got, yep, there it is. I was going to say, that is going to be it. Once those Mutas get out, there is no way for Zerg to compete in this situation. So, very, very back and forth Zerg versus Zerg match there between these two players. Really nicely done by Chase at the start. Got quite a couple of drone kills at the start. I think it was 10. And then was able to continue on from there. So, Chase takes the score up to 2-1 now for mGG, keeping them in the lead. Of course, it will be FaDe's pick for the next map and their player that is to come out.